Good day everyone, this video is all about 0. So, can you solve all of this question? Now, you can pause this video if you want to give this problem a try. And now, let's answer this question together. So, our goal is to answer all of this question involving 0. Now, let's start the first question. So, the first question is 0 plus or minus 0. And, of course, our answer to this question is simply equal to 0. So, please take note of this. 0 plus 0 must be 0, and 0 minus 0 still 0. So, that's the answer to the first question. Now, how about the second question? 0 times 0. Now, 0 times 0 is simply equal to 0. This is not a tricky one, so let's move on. Let's have the third question. Now, what is 0 divided by 0? The correct answer to this question must be, this is one of the indeterminate forms in mathematics. So the answer to this question is indeterminate. So take note that 0 divided by 0, our answer to this is indeterminate. So now let's move on. How about the fourth question? What is 0 divided by 1? Now 0 divided by any number is simply equal to, you're correct, this is 0. This is not a tricky one, so let's move on. How about the fifth question? How about 1 divided by 0? Now 1 divided by 0, take note that our answer to this question is not 1 and also not 0. And our answer to this question, if we divide something by 0, then our answer must be undefined. So 2 divided by 0 is still undefined, 3 divided by 0 is still undefined, but 0 divided by 0, our answer is indeterminate. So now let's move on. How about this, the sixth question? 0 raised to the power of 1. Now, this is not a tricky question. 0 raised to 1 is still 0. Alright? So let's move on. How about 0 factorial? So what is the value of 0 factorial? This is not 0. 0 factorial is simply equal to 1. Now take note that factorial is the number of arrangements of some things. So we can simply think of how many ways could you arrange 0 things, and the answer is just 1. Just do nothing at all. So 0 factorial is simply equal to 1. Now how about 1 raised to the power of 0? Again, this is not a tricky question. 1 raised to 0 is simply equal to 1. Alright? So any number raised to 0 is just 1, except for 0. Alright? So let's move on. How about the next question? What is now 0 raised to 0? Now in mathematics, this is also one of the indeterminate form. So when you encounter 0 raised to 0, and the answer to this question is indeterminate. Alright? So let's move on. How about the last one? Square root of 0. What's the answer when we encounter square root of 0? Now square root of 0, this is not a tricky question. This is simply equal to 0. And there you go. Here's our answer to this question involving 0. And as always, we are done.